Good evening, everybody. So we are proceeding exactly as scheduled today. No funny business. No silly, goofy, wacky, funny business. The funny business is saved for, the rest of the week. So, today's opener was, of course, Crumbling Castle by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Now, before we get in, I have a little fellow to announce. Guess what just got approved this morning? Yeah! There we go. There he goes. I was hoping they would approve the jar first, because that's an important demo. That's a selling point. But I guess not. I realize now that it is awkwardly silent. Let's get some music on. Oh yeah, real quick, I sat down today and started setting up the throne. It should be ready by Friday or earlier. I'm just deciding what to add before I put it on the page. I will try to maintain at least. I'm going to try and maintain a balance between work-related shit and stuff that I want just because I think it would look cute on my desk. Let's get yeah. No, Silent Chill. That's the one. Yep, there we go. So, what we have here is the Godzilla Creepypasta for the NES. I know there's a fan game adapting it to an actual playable video game, but I do not want to play that. I do not feel inclined. So, let's begin. I have it on screen so you can read along if you so choose. You can read ahead if you feel so inclined. So let's close some stuff and let's get to it. Chapter 1. Earth and Mars. When I was a little kid, the two things I loved most in life were Godzilla and NES games. So naturally, when Godzilla Monster of Monsters came out, it was like a dream come true. Well, almost. To sum it up, most of the game revolved around getting through very repetitive outer space levels while smashing up tanks and jets, and then fighting against Godzilla's monster enemies. Overall, it was pretty mediocre, but back then I didn't care. When I got the game, as a present for my 10th birthday, I played it night and day as much as I could. Unfortunately, I had traded the game for Armagon a year later, much to my regret. When I found out what that game was like. Recently, congratulations, Master Ace 9, for breaking Barley Parley's streak of having the fastest hands in the West. Let's pop over to the redemption queue. Complete that. Yep, complete all. Hell yeah. Recently, I had bought a new NES system, and through a lot of hunting and asking around, my friend Billy finally managed to find a copy of Godzilla Monster of Monsters. I was pumped to play my favorite childhood game. It never even occurred to me to ask where Billy found it. But he also gave me other games like Legend of Zelda, Bomberman, and some stupid thing called Action 52. But Godzilla had to come first. Yeah, Godzilla had to come first. Fuck, no. Great, we've achieved the semen moment. Welcome to the semen moment, everybody. Yeah. So I started the game, and nostalgia came flooding back like a tidal wave. Godzilla's 8-bit theme song flooded proudly through the speakers, and I was soon grinning like an idiot. Some people laugh at me for playing such outdated games, but I never had as much enjoyment from any games other than those on the NES. Those 8-bit games take me back to when things were much simpler, more safe, but after what's happened with this game, I don't have those feelings anymore. They're just gone. Godzilla came in and he deleted them. Godzilla deleted this man's ability to feel nostalgia. I'm gonna cry. Hang on, I'm forgetting something. Hang on, I'm forgetting something. Hang on, I'm forgetting something. On the phone, I'm forgetting something. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. I figured out what I was forgetting. So let's get that plugged in. How much shit do you think Godzilla would produce in like a 24-hour period? Or are you correct and you think Godzilla batched? In case you don't know, batching is the hypothetical process of taking every shit in your life in one continuous like log. And then you never have to shit again for the rest of time. Personally, I would choose to do this so that I don't have to take BRBs every now and again. But that's just me. No, it's weekly. No, it's daily. It's every day. Every second of every day you are shitting. Although a weekly plan would probably be a lot more sustainable for people, especially if they have busy jobs. But like for some people, like they'd probably opt for like the entire shit for a whole year straight plan. Dude, just imagine. Now we're getting to like the hype. Now we're gonna get into the fucking hypotheticals of just having a weekly shit day. Like how many? Let me Google. How? You know what? No. We're doing this on the main fucking page because this is the current tangent. How much time do you spend shitting each week? Give me a number. All right, so that's 12 times 7. $84 minutes. That's 84 minutes of taking a shit every week, and then you don't have to do it the rest of the week. What day would you pick as your specified shit day? I'd probably pick Mondays. Because Mondays are already, like, not that great. All right, let's get back. Let's get back. Let's get out of the tangent and back into the fucking content. I had forgotten how quick the fun of smashing things as Godzilla wore off in the scrolling levels. The game bombards you with bullets and things crashing into you from every direction, and they're too big to avoid. And you're too big to avoid most of them. Although my excitement had worn down some, it wasn't long at all before I got to the first boss battle. My first opponent was Godzilla, an obscure squid kaiju that had never been in a Godzilla movie. Provably false. Technically speaking, stock footage of Godzilla appears in a Godzilla movie. I'm gonna prove this idiot wrong. Space Amoeba. Yeah. Godzilla Final Wars. He appears in a Godzilla movie. Fuck you. Fuck you, author, you dumbass, you moron. Fuck you, idiot. Although I will say, look at this goofy little man. It's just a silly little squid fella. It's like Splatoon all over again. Speaking of Splatoon, looked forward to some streams of that next month. I'm gonna be doing Splatfest. It'll be great. Now, in case anyone here at some point plans on making me chug, I have water as well as lukewarm coffee with me. So I'm well prepared, alright? The most annoying thing about fighting Godzilla is that he always backs you into a corner and starts smacking you with his tentacle. And you're unable to move until he gets off of you. This move doesn't do any damage, but it can stall you until the timer runs out and you have to start the fight over. And he regains some health. It's as annoying as it sounds. And of course, he did it when I fought him. Only for some reason this caused the game to glitch up. Because once he started smacking me, he never stopped. The timer was supposed to end the fight in about 40 seconds, but this lasted for nearly 5 minutes. After a while, the graphics started to mess up and with little red blocks all over the place. Let's get a close-up on this Creepypast image. Look at that. Gotta say, the fact that the author went out and went out of his way to make cool graphics for this story always struck me as surprisingly genuine. Like really high effort for a creepypasta. Like, you don't expect this level of quality with, like, funny online internet spooky horror stories, right? Hang on, why does this say, what? I'm having a fucking moment, what the hell? Oh. Alright, time to close Twitter. Time to close Twitter and get back to work. Which was weird. But I just took the game out, blew on it. Terrible practice, by the way. Never blow on your cartridge-based games. The moisture will cause the pins or like the little metal parts to get all gunky and corrode a little. You should use proper cleaning methods like isopropyl alcohol and such. It's good to make sure you're doing your cartridge maintenance properly. Because then, you know, you don't want your games to break. You don't have to buy a new copy. And it's gonna, oh, it's gonna suck. It's gonna be bad, you know? And then I started again. I wasn't about to let a little glitch. It's the ancient practice, but it's also the wrong one. I wasn't about to let a little glitch stand in my way, so I started again and this time defeated Godzilla and the level's other boss monster, Moguera, without any problems. So then, it was on to the next planet, Mars. I browsed around the board and found something unexpected. Where Varon's place had been, there was instead a piece representing Titanosaurus. There were only 10 kaiju in the game, and Titanosaurus was not one of them. Or so I thought. Perhaps Titanosaurus was originally intended to be in the game, but was swapped out for Varon at some point? So I began to feel very excited. Not only was I playing my favorite game, but I was playing a prototype of some sort with a new monster. Needless to say, I ran through the levels as fast as I could to see Titanosaurus in action. I fought Godzilla again and beat him before he could do his tentacle schmack. But this time the glitch started happening when he died. Godzilla's sprite didn't sink to the bottom, but instead seemed to be devoured by the glitch. His eyes started randomly spawning all over the screen. I now know that these glitches with Godzilla were my first warning sign that something was very wrong with this game. But foolishly I ignored it and proceeded on to fight Moguera, who this time had a glitch of his own. Moguera was twice the size he should have been, which startled me. He was also considerably harder to beat than usual, which is to say, not at all. But soon I had defeated him also, and when he died, yet another glitch happened. This happened extremely fast, so I was lucky to get a screen cap of it. But what happened was that the giant Moguera sprite started to shatter and melt. Also, if you look at the garbled text in the right corner of the screen, you'll notice what appears to be a bird in a cage. Where? I still have no idea what this meant. Let's do some fucking image forensics, bros. Where's the cage? There's the bird. Is this supposed to be a cage? Are you high? That's not a cage, dumbass. No, you're wrong. That doesn't look like a cage. Yeah, I'll give you that it looks like a hand, but not a cage. At this point, I was about to fight Titanosaurus, and I was worried as to what kind of glitches would happen this time. But to my surprise, Titanosaurus looked just fine. Although all the game's bipedal monsters were the same height, Titanosaurus was a bit taller. But since Titanosaurus actually was taller than Godzilla in his film debut, I thought this was kind of cool. Alright, that's really good sprite work. It even matches the style of the rest of the game, kinda. Like, it looks nice. It looks great. After a very fun fight with the monster that wasn't supposed to be in the game, I took over the enemy base and proceeded not to Jupiter like normal, but instead to Pathos? Turn off reader mode? Hell yeah. Turn on reader mode? Hell yeah. NES Godzilla Creepypasta. Chapter 2, Pathos. Hang on, let me just drop a quick sip. Sipping time. Hell yeah. Shit's good. Ah. Alright, let's get my other monitor back in order. Pathos was the same as Jupiter in layout, except the board was dark blue rather than green. The first thing I noticed was that all the usual level icons had been replaced by a blue rock in some kind of orange honeycomb shape. There was one icon that had part of the jungle icon shape, but I didn't pay much thought to it. I checked the other side of the board to see the new monster. Instead of Hedora, it was Biolante. Fun fact, Biolante is what I have named my external hard drive. It's just sitting back there, rocking around. But it couldn't have been right. Godzilla vs. Biolante didn't come out until 1989, and this game was made in 1988. Perhaps Toho put Biolante in the game to build excitement for the movie next year, but changed their minds? I tried to rationalize the game's abnormalities any way I could, but this would prove to be futile. Pathos' map song was the first new song I heard in the game. Like most new songs, it was hard to describe. I'll try. It started out slow yet and suspenseful, but much slower than any song in the game. But every 12 seconds or so, there would be a loud clashing sound, and the tempo changed. It was like the composer randomly played parts from 5 different songs with the same instruments. I moved Godzilla over to one of many blue rock icons that had replaced the jungle icons and started the level. The level resembled a blue mountain range with a blood red planet in the sky, but there was something odd about the mountains. They had a quote-unquote shredded paper look to them. I thought at first maybe the glitch had affected it, but it looked far too intentional. I quickly noticed something else about this new level. There were no enemies. Not at all, not even any obstacles. I should also mention that this was where the point meter started to become glitched beyond comprehension. Not where. Were. Point and laugh, everybody. Alright, fucking let's start chanting, alright? Spelling mistake, spelling mistake, spelling mistake, spelling mistake. That's funny. Hang on, I'm just quickly checking something. Yeah, everything's fine. Oh. Hell yeah. Oh. Ooh. I should also mention that this is where the point meter started to become glitched beyond comprehension. But it didn't bother me much. I never keep up with game points. Hang on. Hang on. I'm seeing things. All right. So you see this shape right here. All right, now keep up with me here. Ahem. Oh, all right, which fucking font? Cancel. All right, I need to get an image. Ahem. Trust me, it's going to be worth it. Once you see what I have in store. Get copy image address. All right, so get this right. Oh, that's that looks like a 1x2. No, that's not the size I wanted to make it. What the fuck? Please, I'm just trying to make people laugh. I'm trying to give people a silly goof. Yeah, all right, here we go. So you see that shape right there, right? Same fucking shape. Same fucking shape. There's a moyai in this. There's a moyai in this. All right, just get that out of here. There we go. So without having to focus on anything, I listened to the music while walking through the level unopposed. The music had a sorrowful feel to it. It would have been rather pleasant had I heard it in a normal game. The level went on for 3 screens, but not without obstacles, but with no obstacles around, I finished it very quickly. I tried other levels of the same type to see if any enemies appear, but there were none. There was little else to be seen in the Blue Mountains, so I tried the other level type. I tried one of the orange levels, and my eyes were assaulted with a grotesque background of tumorous orange eyes. The quote-unquote sky was the same as the ground, so I assumed the game was indicating that this level takes place in a cave. Hang on, I gotta fix... There we go. The only enemies were Matango spawn. But as you can see, the little bastards were everywhere. The music certainly didn't help. It was with a mixture of screeching sounds and loud drum beats that sounded like a monster's theme in a horror film. You assumed? Oh yeah, yeah. God. The funniest part is that everything else is really well written in this so far. But the fucking occasional like grammar or spelling mistakes just make it. They improve this shit. After completing it, I tried to avoid playing through any more of these levels whenever I could. The map was short, so it was only a few minutes before I was headed toward a rematch with Godzilla and Mogera. But this time, their sprites and attack patterns were vastly different. I fought Mogera first. Mogera's replacement was a flying machine with a slight resemblance to a Pascagoula alien. It was a bit like fighting Mothra, only it moved with a lot more grace. It attacked by spinning its front tentacle like a corkscrew, and it still had an I-beam, except now it fired from the drill. The Pascagoula alien, huh? These silly boys? Oh. Oh yeah, I get it. What the fuck is this? Is that a game? Is that a movie? What the fuck's going on? Well, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Okay. Is this it? Okay, so here's the silly fella. This lanky aberration had replaced Godzilla. The new beast was more of a challenge. It would run and jump at a fast pace, constantly swinging its arms around, making it hard to get close. And of course, it tried to pin me in the corner with as much annoying resolve as ever. I defeated it using a combination of tail whips and heat beam spamming. Oh, yeah, that's Mogera. It looks nothing like a Pascagoula alien. What are you fucking talking about? I defeated them. I was going to fight Titanosaurus. But when I started the fight, Titanosaurus was nowhere to be seen. And the game simply went back to the map with the Titanosaurus piece now missing. There was no one left to fight now but Biollante, so I eagerly started the battle. I was quite surprised that Biollante started the fight in a rose form. He was immobile and used tentacles to keep me away from the main body, which took the most damage. As expected, she turned into her final form after taking enough damage. The sprite looked pretty damn good for 8-bit. Can't argue with that. That's pretty damn good. Hang on, I have a... Hang on, I have to... I'm being harassed by Arya. Okay, so for context on this Twitter tangent, earlier I posted, you know, we have no confirmation that Arya has no legs, but also no evidence to prove that fell isn't 60% leg. And she replied to me with a smiley face with a little space where the nose should be. And I said, I'm going to uproot you like a carrot and see how long they are. Do not test me. And now we're at the point where that motherfucker is saying, oh yeah, you and what excavation crew? Majima Construction. Yeah, let's just get this image. The Majima Construction join the team. We build shit image. I'm going to reply to Arya and say, I know a guy. Griefing live on stream. It's not like I can't just go on stupid tangents. If I end up not finishing this today, I'll just do it sometime next month. It'll be fine. All right, well, all right, right. Griefing my own stream, goddamn. Yeah, that is a pretty damn good sprite. The battle technique was the same, except now Biollante could move, albeit slower than any other monster. Being hit by the tentacles did more damage now, and Biollante could do an acid spit, which I managed to avoid by jumping in the screen cap. Me when I drink too much water too fast. Look at that motherfucker just puking. Just vomiting. Okay, I have to stop. I have to stop paying attention. Oh. Fresh news from Twitch directly. Ahem. An update on prohibited gambling content. Starting today, we are making a policy update to prohibit the streaming of certain sites that include slots, roulette, or dice games and aren't licensed either in the US or in other jurisdictions that provide sufficient consumer protection. For a full list of prohibited sites, please refer to our community guidelines. Websites that focus on sports betting, fantasy sports, and poker are all permitted at this time. We will continue to assess the impact of this policy and revise our approach as needed. Okay, got it. Thanks. You know what? Speaking of gambling, let me set up a bet. Finish trance before the end of stream. Here we go. Are you guys ready for gambling? Are you guys ready to bet your hard-earned points? It is a simple gamble, all right. You just have to predict whether or not I will get distracted enough to just stop reading entirely. If we do not finish Trance by the end of stream, I will have to pay out a no, all right? Let's start that prediction. You have 2 minutes. Oh, hell yeah. We have one fella betting. Nice. Actually, now I kind of want to fact check this motherfucker on when the Godzilla vs. Biollante came out. Oh no, no, they were right. 1989. Hell yeah. All right, let's see. Not much more difficult to beat than Titanosaurus. It only took 2 rounds, but when Biollante was gone, the music had stopped. There was a new icon replacing the bass. The icon wasn't there before I beat Biollante. It resembled a red tribal mask. And I had a feeling of dread when I saw it. But since it replaced the bass, Dude, what the fuck? Dude, what the fuck? Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Sun chest pain, hell yeah. Breathe. Breathe. Here we go. It must be the only way to exit Pathos. I moved Godzilla to the square and started the level. It was a hellish looking place with no sky and a flickering fire in the background. The fire looked far more advanced than anything I've seen on the NES. There was quote-unquote music in the form of a slow, steady drum sound resembling a heartbeat. All the text on the top up of the screen and the life bar were gone. In their place was a single bit of text in the middle of the screen that said, "Run!" My feeling of dread had intensified. I cautiously walked through the level, but like the Blue Mountains, there were no enemies. I paced around for a minute before thinking, run? From what? The first time it hit me, I didn't even see it. I heard a noise outside my room and turned back to see if something fell, and when I looked back, Godzilla was dying. I figured it must have been a glitch. But I wasn't going to play through the game without Godzilla, so I restarted the game and went to the password screen. Have I ever mentioned how creepy the password screen music is? If you played the game, you know what I mean. It doesn't at all fit the mood of the game. It's more like something from a horror game. But they made it like that so kids wouldn't cheat. I was quite annoyed at this point because I thought I was going to have to fight all the monsters again, but that didn't happen. The game started me off right where I was before I started the red face level. So I tried again, making sure to pay attention this time. That's when I heard a low bellowing sound. And then I saw it, this thing. Do you know that feeling your body has when you feel like you're in extreme danger? Start to recoil and tense up as the adrenaline flows through your veins and your nerves start to feel very cold. That's the feeling I had when I took this screen cap. I haven't seen all the Godzilla movies, but I'm pretty damn sure this was never in any of them. It had to be something the creators made up. But what kind of sick fuck would put this in a children's game? By sheer dumb luck, or perhaps the adrenaline boost, I managed to run fast enough away from it. It ran very fast, so much so that if you saw it, you were most certainly going to die. When I say die, I mean your monster gets killed instantly if the creature touches them. Once I had gone back to the map, I was so afraid that I was extremely tempted to just shut off the game and try to pretend this never happened. I couldn't believe what I had just seen couldn't have been real. And even if I wanted to continue, I still had to get Mothra through this chase level. But as I stayed inactive on the map screen for a few minutes, my fear was replaced by burning curiosity. What the hell just happened? What was the rest of this game like? I only had to beat this level with Mothra and then it was on to the next world. But when I moved Mothra to the red face, the game registered it as me beating the level. I was quite relieved. I tried to prepare myself for the next world, Trance. We are now entering a third of the way done. Wait, hang on. There we go. Hang on, I'm having a moment. I need to check something. I require stimulation. Oh. Yeah. Oh yeah, so Persona 5 Royal comes to computers soon. And I may consider doing that. You know, work backwards from 5 to 3 and then 2 to 1. Yeah. I don't intend on paying for 5 solely because I've already beaten the game on PS4 previously. And I don't want to pay for mostly the same game, but with some additional side content. For similar reasons, I will be playing the FES version of 3. Mainly because that's a copy I legally purchased a long time ago, and I don't want to pay for a PC port of the fucking portable version. Like, dude, what the fuck? At least put some of the portable exclusive content in, like, the FES version, like, port it in. Like, anything more than the bare minimum would have been cool. Atlas, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, it's better than them bastardizing another remake, but like, fuck, man. Fuck, man. All right, back to work. Back to work. Time to stop being a silly boy. I was still pretty shook up from the last level when I started Trance. Trance's map music did nothing to ease the tension. As for how to describe it, have you ever heard the theme of Videodrome? That's the closest thing I can think of it to compare it to. Think of it to compare it to. Actually, let's check out that Videodrome music.
Brought upon us by satellites, lasers, fiber optics, microprocessors,
Here we go.
and magnetic bubbles for the transfer of information, ideas, knowledge.
Hell yeah. Let's keep this going for a little bit. I checked to see who the new monster was, and it was Orga, a monster who didn't make his film debut until 2000, appearing in a game made in 1988. So much for my theories about Titanosaurus and Biolante. There's no way this game was made in 1988. Those guys at Toho may be smart, but I'm sure they couldn't see that far into the future. If they could, they never would have given, they never would have gave Roland Emmerich the rights to make a Godzilla movie. No, this had to be a hack of some kind, which just opened up even more questions. Who made this hack? When? How? And most importantly, why? The why was the question that bothered me the most. My immediate assumption was to think Billy did this to pull a joke on me. But that couldn't be right either. Billy didn't know how to make a ROM hack. And if he did, he'd probably just do something simple and stupid, like replacing all the monsters with cruelly drawn genitalia. Unless Billy had amazing game editing skills and did a serious dark streak to his imagination that he never told me about. He couldn't have made this. Is it even possible to put a hacked ROM into a cartridge? Yes, actually. You just need to have the right hardware for rewriting the ROM chip. Like, theoretically speaking, it is provably, people have done this before, provably possible to put a hacked ROM onto a cartridge. An example is all those Mother 3 reproduction carts. Those are a famous example, but like all sorts of stuff people have done. All sorts of stuff, all sorts of shit. Like all sorts of wacky, goofy stuff. With putting ROMs onto new cartridges. And it's an interesting thing, and I think it's cool that people can do that. And it takes a lot of skill to even like fuck with the assembly code that makes up an NES title. Like you have to understand, this is basically machine code. Fucking up with machine code. Aside from all that, my eye was drawn to the new icon on the map, a question mark. I was really curious as to what it did. I'm sure you're also curious, so I'll explain the quote-unquote quiz levels now, since this was when they start appearing. There was one of these per map from here on, and they always appeared near the start of the map. When you start a quiz level, you appear on a screen like this. Do you like dog? Yes. No. As you can see, there's a question at the top, a yes and a no button, and an emoticon in the center. I refer to the emoticon as face, real creative, I know, and for convenience, I'll refer to face as the one asking the questions. Do you like dog? Yes, no answer. Do you like dog? Dog. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Now we fixed that. Yep, everything's fine. Everything's good. The music for the quiz levels was a track actually in the game. It's the one that plays when you try to use the Ghidorah cheat and get sent to an unplayable level. Hang on. Let's see, debug menu. Hell yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Hell yeah. The face asks you 12 yes or no questions, and you move your monster to the buttons for your answer. When you answer, the question disappears and face changes expression for about 8 seconds. Then he goes back to neutral, and a new question comes up. There was no time limit, nor any right or wrong answers. Face has no respect for the player's personal boundaries, and will sometimes ask deeply disturbing and personal questions. For example, do you like hurting people? Have you ever killed or raped anyone? Have you been molested by a family member? Other times he would ask questions that were mind-numbingly stupid. Is the sun hot? Is water wet? Or just flat out ridiculous. Does your dog like the president? And maybe once per quiz, Face would ask you a question about the game. For one question, with one exception, Face's expression changes seemed to have no effect on the game, except for indicating what the game creator thought of your answer. His reactions rarely made any sense, and at first I thought they were randomly generated. The questions never followed a pattern. Face never stayed on the same subject for more than 2 questions. Early on, there were questions that made me think Face was building up to something, only to then ask some stupid garbage. Here are the expressions of Face that I saw while playing. I'll separate them into 2 categories, the expressions I understood and the expressions I didn't. First are the expressions I understood. There's neutral, angry, sad, happy, sick, and maniacal. The first 6. Then there's surprise, love, annoyed, confused, and then guilty or hurt. And then there's the weird ones. All right, so it fucked up reading the style for this. All right. So I'm not reading the entire like HTML backend shit on this. Just the like main thing. Do you like the game? Answer given, yes. Reaction, happy. Are you afraid? Yes. S, surprised. Are you over 18? Yes. Weird face, number 5. Oh. Do birds have teeth? No. Reaction, love. Is peanut butter good? No. Sick. Does the moon rotate? Yes. Weird face 11. That's what we're dealing with. Have you had a job? Yes. Confused. Do you like hurting people? No. Annoyed. Is the sun hot? Yes. Sad. Do you like dog? Yes. Happy. Is the president good? Yes. 3. Yo, poggers! Oh, I might want to steal that for an emote. Fucking look at that. Fucking look at this one. Yeah, the face pog. Does your dog like the president? Answer, no. Reaction, angry. Now that I've explained it all, time for the gameplay. There we go. The face pug. All right, let's get everything back where it belongs. There we go. Now that I've explained all that, time for the gameplay. After the quiz level, I tried the new green temple icon first. Wow, maybe this is why the game was so weird. One of the game designers was clearly drugged out of his mind. Yo, the game designer made something unconventional. Whoa, they had to be high. Whoa. I hate that sentiment. That's stupid people shit. That's stupid people shit. Jokes aside, I was quite impressed by the graphics of this level. As disorienting as they were, I hate those creepy blank staring statue faces. The music had a hypnotic Indian techno vibe to it. There are 2 enemies in this level, a flying ghost type thing with a trunk and a bat with a horse skull for a face. They appear at random, but I was lucky to get a screen cap of them both. Then I proceeded to a blue mountain level, expecting another nice calm stroll. Took my time walking through, and I was completely taken by surprise when this happened. Non-Mogera came speeding toward me and took off quite a bit of health with his tentacle screws. It only took me 2 minutes to kill him without having to worry about a time limit, but the boss monsters never showed up in the scrolling levels in the normal game. I was worried as to what other rules the game would break. After another Blue Mountain stage, it was time to fight Not Varan, whose replacement was one of the most bizarre things in the game. This strange creature attacked you by kicking, and also opening up his chest to fire heat-seeking missiles. I don't get it. The missiles were sometimes a pain to deal with, but I found out that you could tail whip them out of the way. Not Varen was probably the easiest of the monster replacements. The same could not be said for Not Hedorah. Apparently the source of the horse bats, Not Hedorah was the most aggravatingly difficult monster to fight yet, mostly because of his special ability. He could shriek and summon a small swarm of those horse bat things. There's only 2 in the screen cap, but every time he did this, about 10 would arrive. The AI took advantage of the distraction and attacked twice as fast, while the horse bats were flying around. Once that annoyance was over with, I went through a green temple level to kill some enemies to restore my health. Interestingly, none of the horse bats showed up after Not Hedorah was killed. And that was when I got an idea. If killing all the monsters makes the red face show up, what would happen if I avoided fighting Orga and go straight to the base? So I'll give that a try. The game told me there was no monster here when I tried to start the base level, and immediately afterward the game took control of my Godzilla piece and moved it in front of Orga. My little trick didn't work. So I tried to prepare myself for another chase, but first I had to beat Orga. The fight with Orga confirmed another thing. Whoever created this game hack was clearly a Godzilla fan. Not only because they picked a monster like Orga, but because they actually implemented something that happened in Godzilla 2000 in a really neat way. What? Orga's primary attacks were a punch and a heat beam from his shoulder. But once you had got him down to half his health, he did something new. He would expand his jaws to try and swallow Godzilla in the process, stealing your health and energy. But in doing so, he gave himself a new weakness. Firing the heat beam into his mouth would take a devastating 4 bars off his life meter. With that weakness revealed, I soon beat Orga, and despite how much I had hoped otherwise, the red face appeared on the map where the base was, and the music stopped. I readied myself as best I could. And seeing that it was... Oh, wait, no. I started the level, and seeing that it was basically the same as the first, I didn't waste a millisecond before I started hauling ass. What a phenomenal phrase. Hauling ass. Not just getting busy, not just schmoibin. Hauling ass. All right, sippy time. Yeah, an entire ass. Ass, the whole ass, and nothing but the ass. I soon encountered obstacles in the form of the ground tile suspended in the air. Most of them you could jump over or destroy. Others, you had to crouch under. About 40 seconds into it, I heard a terrible bellowing roar and saw the spider beast following close behind me. Stacks of obstacles barely slowed it. It would back up and then charge its way through them, smashing them into bits. And when the smaller objects got in its way, it would expand its jaws and swallow them whole. I was afraid, but with fast thinking and faster button pressing, I escaped him yet again. I felt really excited, and so I laughed and said, "Not this time, asshole." I decided to take a screen cap to celebrate. When I said that sentence, just before the level ended, the monster did something that made my blood run cold. It looked at me. A wave of mortal terror overtook me. I sure as hell wasn't laughing anymore. I took another screen cap of the next level title right before I rushed to the bathroom to splash some water on my face and to take a piss that I nearly failed to contain when that fucking thing looking at me. Dementia. We have a gamble dub. Oh. We have a gamble to pay out. So let's get in there. Congratulations, you got a reward on your bet. Recent comments. Yo, there's comments? The board lines are cursed. What's cursed about them? All right, give me a moment to go turn my lights on. It's getting dark again. You know how it is. Ah! There we go. Lights on. Sleep headphones charged. Perfect. Just wanted to get those charged before the end of the stream, you know. Take a nap afterwards. That'll be nice. I've been failing to do that recently, and that's on me. That's on me. Where's my headphones? There we go. Here we go. Ah, perfect. Oh yeah, so recently I've been dealing with what I would like to call, what I've been advised not to call, fraudulent, potentially fraudulent, little claims from people who think they own like Nintendo or Minecraft music, but aren't the people who composed those tracks and aren't Nintendo or Minecraft. So, like, what the fuck? You know? Fortunately, disputing these claims allows like allows me to get those fraudulent claims taken off, which is nice. But it's fucked up that it's happening at all. Like, it's bothering me, you know? Like, some jackoff made a bad rap song using aquatic ambience from Donkey Kong Country 2. And I saw the other day that it was claimed on one of my VODs. Not as aquatic ambience, but as the fucking song from that jackoff. And sincerely, I hope that person falls down the stairs. Fuck that guy. He didn't even rap good. Like, I'm disappointed. First, you rap like shit. Then you claim my fucking VOD for it. Okay. Alright. Alright. Let's try to finish this one, alright? When I got back to the game, I was getting very upset and confused. I thought about the way the monster looked at me. The game couldn't have heard what I said. That's impossible. It had to be a random occurrence. But why did it happen precisely at the moment I insulted the monster? Nothing about this game made any sense. The new Godzilla monsters, the weird replacement monsters, out-of-place imagery like the green temples, quiz levels, and the red monster chases, it didn't seem to add up in any kind of meaningful way. If it was a prank, it wasn't funny in any way I could understand. And they clearly put far too much effort into it. If they were trying to make a genuine sequel with new Godzilla monsters, then why did they add everything else? Maybe it was some kind of art experiment. Some group project made by a bunch of really talented and crazy people. They lost the cartridge somehow. Or maybe they intended for some random person to find it. It was all just fruitless guessing. As far as I could tell, there was only one way to figure out what the deal with this game was. To play it through to the end. Maybe, just maybe, there would be something in the credits. Forgot to full screen again. Nobody told me? Nobody told me, huh? Huh? Hang on, let me change up the music. Oh shit. Oh shit. You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. Gino Samuel uploaded. New Christian documentary part. I'm gonna watch that after my nap. An hour ago. Fuck. I'm late. Let's put Sticker Brush Symphony on. Watch this. Some dickhead's gonna claim this as well, aren't they? I haven't brushed my hair today, so I'm gonna take a quick second to do that. We still haven't had the water heater fixed, so I can't wash my hair yet. It sucks. I don't want to risk scalding my scalp, so I'm not going to just boil water and use that as hot water. But I also want to, like, you know, get my hair clean as soon as I can. I already tried to take one shower with cold water, froze my balls, and it still hurts. So, like, that's out of the question. Yeah, here we go. Hair's starting to get greasy. Wish I could fucking wash that. Oh, there we go. I think sometime next week I want to schedule a collaboration. Don't know with who, don't know on what, but I think it would be fun. Here we go. Yeah, hair's done, hair's done. Yep, headphones back on. Back to the story. Let's check. Yep, everything's fine. I think I might make a channel point goal. Just so you guys can bribe me to do something I hate. I think that'd be fun. Let's see. 1 billion points and I'll do League, alright? Yeah, settings. No, settings. Reviewer, yeah. Wrong one. Manage rewards and challenges. Create a challenge. Billion is too much. 1,000. No, you can get that in an evening. 10,000? No. 100,000? Maybe. Yeah, so let's see. 100,000. Force me to play League of Legends. There we go. Raise 100,000 gamer points. And you can force me to play League of Legends. Starting now. You have 31 days. Godspeed. All right, let's get back to McGamon. Well, not McGamon, McReadin. Maybe, just maybe, there would be something in the credits. An explanation by the creators as to why they made this, or it could be something much more cryptic and strange. Maybe even something horrifying. Before I got a good look at the dementia board, I considered replaying Trance to see if the red monster would look at me again. But I decided against it. I wanted to keep moving forward. I was also somewhat worried that backtracking might cause the game to become even more strange. The dementia board music sounded a lot like the Saturn music, except it was slowed down and played in a piano-sounding instrument. Like most of these new maps, it had a dangerous, suspenseful feel. While listening to the music, I looked at the Dementia board. There were 4 boss monsters this time. Space Godzilla, Manda, Gigan, and Baragon. I was surprised that there were 2 new Toho monsters this time. But the best surprise was still to come. I started the quiz level there. Here's another list of the results in the same format as last time. Can you swim? He answered yes. The reaction was happy. Do you like fish? The answer was yes. The reaction was sick. Can the penguins fly? The answer was no. Reaction was sad. Can it spin in all directions? There was no clarification of what Face meant by quote-unquote it. So I guessed. The answer was no. The reaction was surprised. Do you breathe oxygen? The answer was yes. The reaction was a weird face. I don't have the face up right now. Does it taste good when you bite a woman? I don't know who came up with this question, but I really hope they're getting mental help. The answer was no. The reaction was annoyed. Do you no. Is it night where you are now? The answer was yes. The reaction was weird face number 6. Do you like cats? The answer was yes. The reaction confused. Is water wet? The answer was yes. The reaction was angry. Have you ever broken a bone? The answer was no. The reaction was happy. Do you like your job? The answer was yes. The reaction was hurt. Would you like a new monster? The answer was yes. The reaction, weird face 11. I wasn't entirely sure at the time what Face meant by quote-unquote new monster, but I couldn't resist answering yes, just to see what would happen. The result was mind-blowing. The game took me back to the board, and I had a new playable monster in the form of Anguirus. Ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to play as Anguirus, since he was my second favorite Godzilla monster. Plus, I never liked Mothra all that much. I moved my new Anguirus piece over to the level, right next to it, eager to test out my new monster. Before I get to the level description, I'll talk about Anguirus a bit. Using the up and down, you could choose whether Anguirus stood in a bipedal stance or crawled on all fours. It wasn't a huge difference, but being able to stand was helpful in boss fights, and crawling sometimes helped dodge obstacles and attacks. He could punch and kick like Godzilla, but no tail whip. Instead, he had something far more interesting. The ability to curl up into a spiked ball of death and roll around. You could still take damage, but it was lessened. It was a good way of clearing out stage enemies, but unfortunately, doing this also drained the power bar. Ah. Oh. 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 But the spiked ball wasn't his only special ability. When you pressed start, he would fire a beam of energy from his mouth. It resembled Titanosaurus's sonar attack. And if this were a hack, it may have been inspired by the roar attack from Atari's Godzilla fighting games. Also of note was when playing as Anguirus, the level meter gets glitched up. Judging by the life and power bar, I'd say he's on level 10. Now on to the level. As you might have guessed from the level icon, these are green palette swaps of the ground and background tiles from the Blue Mountains. But what immediately caught my attention was the water, which has a transparency effect. Was that even possible for an NES game? I know the Super Nintendo could do it, but I had never seen a transparency effect in a game on NES. Oh, dreadfully sorry. The Green Mountain music was played with the same instrument as the Blue Mountains, but the melody was totally different. It was a very simple song with a lot of abrupt pauses followed by a loud note every few seconds. Anyway, it went through the usual strolling through the level, and again, there were no monsters or anything, but pretty soon, I had reached a cliff above the water. There was nowhere to go but in the water. So down I went. The water transparency made things harder to see, but it's tolerable. After going underwater, I encountered two enemies, a giant piranha of some kind, and a spiky bottom feeder thing. I liked the piranha because I could easily tell what it was. It was a sane enemy design that would appear in a real game, and there were very few enemies like this. They didn't take much hits to kill, but they were quite annoying. I could considerably trim down your life if they got close enough. They also tend to travel in packs. As for the bottom feeders, they were easy to deal with. They swim along the bottom of the screen toward you and were easily crushed with the roll attack or jumped over. In this screen cap, you can see me about to run one of them over, and there was a pack of piranhas behind it. After I beat the level, I moved Godzilla onto the blue castle icon. I started the level and got the title screen with the text "Unforgiving Cold." Hang on, I'm just checking something real quick. Oh. Yep. The level itself looked like a castle dungeon made of bricks, with rows of identical white statue faces on the walls. These statue faces had a permanent look of horror on their faces. There was also some flickering gray static, which didn't really obscure my vision, but it adds to the very unsettling mood of these levels. The music was a 12-second loop of a low-pitched choir vocalizing. It sounded very familiar to me. Whenever I played through one of these levels, I got this sudden horrible feeling of anxiety. I had the feeling that the farther I progressed through the level, the closer I was getting to something unspeakably evil. There weren't any enemies, but these were some of the longest levels in the game. I only played one level, but it took 7 minutes to complete. I didn't want to admit to myself at the time, but I realized something playing the Blue Castle level. The game has the power to make the player feel certain things. Yeah, dumbass, that's the point, fucking moron. Oh, the game put something scary on screen and I got scared. Fuck off. Suck my dick. Jesus. Like, admittedly, that was just a little more than pretentious right there. Ooh, I got scared by the game trying to scare me. Oh, it's gotta be paranormal. It's gotta be haunted. Oh. I don't mean in the sense of you get irritated playing a crappy game or get a nerd, but oh, certain events in the game can instantly make you start feeling something. Yeah, that's the point. That's the point, moron. Fuck you. Fuck you. I know this sounds completely insane. I don't blame you for not believing me. I wouldn't believe any of this either if I didn't play the game myself. But there is something very, very wrong in this game. I still don't know how to explain it. So then it was time to fight Baragon's replacement. Although Baragon was originally the smallest monster in this game, his replacement was the largest. It was so tall that, in fact, that the quote-unquote ground was noticeably lowered. And not Baragon's head still barely avoided collision with the bar at the top of the screen. He was just as frighteningly bizarre as he was huge. You may be wondering how he attacks without arms. Well, he has the most powerful kick in the game. But his other fighting technique is much stranger. First, he blasts a cloudy breath of pixels down at you, which causes you to freeze. Then he walks back to the right corner of the screen and extends a huge Gatling gun from his abdomen. Dude, that's a penis! Dude, that's a penis! Screen cap, screen cap. I'm reading the Godzilla Creepypast and hell yeah. Yeah. Bring a whole new fucking level to the phrase cocking my gun. Dude, that's a penis. That is a dick. That is a cock. How am I supposed to be scared of this? It has a dick in it. It has a penis in it. That might seem amusing to you, but it certainly wasn't to me when I was playing the game. This attack is almost as annoying as Gigan's Saw, and not Baragon could have been unbeatable if he consistently used it. Thankfully, he only did it twice while fighting him. Once you unfreeze, you can run up and start damaging the gun, which does extra damage to him. This helped me destroy him. And when it was time to play the third level type, I decided I was going to use Anguirus to fight Manda and Gigan. And then fight Space Godzilla as Godzilla. It was only fitting. Before getting into the battles, I'll describe the third level type, the Arctic. The Arctic was exactly what you guessed from the name, an icy tundra with few watery segments. The music reminded me of the Northern Hemisphere from Donkey Kong Country in 8-bit form. A very dangerous sounding song. Made me think about being trapped in a tundra and freezing to death. There were two new enemies in this stage. The first was a creature, frozen in a block of ice. They block your way and you have to use the heat beam to thaw them out of the ice. They look a bit like smaller versions of Not Gazora, only without the eye. When free, they do a strange crawling movement and push you backwards. It doesn't cause damage, but it is a bit annoying. After dealing with the Iceman, I kept walking for a minute or two and came upon a water segment. I jumped in, and this time I managed to get a screen cap showing how the water splashes when you jump in. Don't know how they programmed that, but it's pretty impressive. Another interesting thing is how the screen changes focus when you go underwater. Here you can see our second new enemy, a little thing I call Spike Walker. They walk towards you and explode randomly, or instantly if you attack them, sending spikes in every direction. The spikes don't do much damage, but they did get me dangerously close to falling into a pit a few times. Oh, speaking of pits, down in the water, the game has a platformer element, bottomless pits. There weren't any of these in the original game, since it was strictly an action game, but the pits were a neat addition. After getting back on land, I encountered a very unexpected mini-boss, Maguma, the Walrus Kaiju. I didn't know this game had some obscure... Well, I know this game had some obscure monsters to begin with, but wow. Not that I'm complaining, it's a pretty cool cameo for an unappreciated kaiju. Maguma's fighting tactics were very simple. He had a freeze beam, he could charge you, not very challenging, but certainly more entertaining than the Matango mini-boss in the original game. One really interesting thing about Magma is that he doesn't die when you defeat him. He turns tail and he retreats. This was the first time I'd ever seen an enemy monster change direction, let alone retreat. I tried to chase after him, but he disappeared after I got in the water. Poor bastard. And that does it for the Arctic. I'll talk about the Manda fight next. I forgot to mention before, but the music that played during the new monster fights is reused from themes actually in the game. So far the themes have been Titanosaurus getting Gazora's theme, Violante getting Hidora's music, Orga using Baragon and Maguira's music, Manda using Varan's music, and Space Godzilla using Mecha Godzilla's music. Still can't believe this. Dude, there's a penis in this. There's a cock. There's a dick. We are poop dick ballin'. As for the fight, Manda was a fairly crafty opponent. When it realized one tactic was ineffective, it would immediately change to a different one. Manda used quite a few tricks, like spitting fire, biting, and most irritating of all, constricting. It doesn't mercilessly drain your life down like Gigan's cutter, but this was by far Manda's strongest attack. One last thing to note that I found pretty cool was that the Atragon showed up during the fight to help me out. Manda crushed it with ease, but it was still cool. After I slayed Manda, I played through an Arctic level for health power-ups, and then it was on to Gigan's replacement. After I slayed... Oh, wait, no. When the fight started, I was very confused because there was nothing there. I thought this was going to be like the Titanosaurus quote-unquote fight in Pathos. But just about the time it would have been going back to the map, a piranha appeared on screen. But it wasn't there for long. As soon as it appeared, the speakers emitted an ear-splitting screech, and Not Gigan flew in and ripped the poor fish to pieces. Well, it's one way to get the player on their toes. That abrupt entrance scared the hell out of me, and got my adrenaline rushing, which in retrospect was a good thing, because Not Gigan was one of the fastest, most unrelenting opponents in the game. It is about time I start wrapping up. So we finished just at this thing. So I'm going to kill the music. Get the schedule up. Just at the Piranha trisection. Yeah, so there it is. So Wednesday and Thursday have a high probability of being the same as scheduled. But Friday we are swapping out Gregory Horror Show for Voltage High Society. Within the next couple days, I will have the throne up for those who wish to help very directly fund things that will help with stream or generally make things a little nicer for me. It is 6:51 p.m. It is a great time for dinner. Get yourself something to eat. Get yourself something to drink. Remember to vacuum. Remember to vacuum every now and then. And of course, love yourself, love others. Tell the people you care about that you care about them, and beat your dick like it owes you money. We will be gooning up Yummy, who just started. I'm going to be handing you off to that fella, doing Master Duel. That's nice. I'd like to thank you all for showing up, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a great night. Sleep easy. Make sure to tune in.